We can start that off.
We are live.
Hey, hi everybody.
Okay, good.
What's
All
up?
it looks like all audio is coming through, and that makes me happy because Mercury is
Wonderful.
iterating.
Taking a nap, I should really finish my lipstick or touch my lipstick up and shit.
But we were talking about
as I cleaned my makeup from last night off. Yes,
there's still glitter on your face this morning. Right. So
real ones
we were
sleep in their
talking
makeup occasionally.
Huh?
I said real ones sleep in our makeup occasionally. Glad.
We were just chatting a little bit about spells and shit. So what were you saying, Scott? I'm trying to remember.
No, I was saying that there are times where I don't mind buying like pre-made spells from like people, whether that be like dressed candles or even like I prefer like spell kits over like like pre-made charm bags or anything. That's just because of the way I see that process working. Like, I don't mind if someone puts all the ingredients together in a bag and it's like you put it together. But that's only because I see spell bags and hex bags as like essentially like spirit houses. But otherwise, yeah, if I feel comfortable with that person, I don't mind purchasing their pre-made spellcraft that's for other people. But I will admit I am picky. And that's because I don't always trust every witch. And also too, and this might be a little arrogant, but sometimes I don't always agree with maybe the ingredients added. Maybe I wouldn't have, and it wouldn't connect with me in that way. So I don't do that. But if I know the person and I know that they know what the fuck they're talking about, then yeah, I'm cool with it for sure. Especially now that I'm older, I feel like as I was getting to my age now. Like when I was more pompous and rude or whatever, back in like the from the mid 2000s and on, I definitely wouldn't have. I wouldn't even purchase like oils from other people. I'd be like, I'll make my own, But as I've gotten older and I've matured, now I know, it's like, everyone makes their own, but like you could, support your friends, you know what I mean, in the community. You know what I mean? That, especially when that they know what they're talking about,
Right, like if someone just does something better, you know what I mean? It's like I could make my own flying ointment, but Scott's is just really good, and so I'm going to ask Scott to, make me some. Or honestly, I bought Tara's flying ointment. That is very good stuff.
Yeah, hey, I have it too.
Yeah, so like, because honestly, like with something like that, like Rue makes balms and stuff like that. Like I don't know if you would want to take on your own flying ointment, but I don't know if you wanted to get into the darker herbal
the
things,
poison craft,
the poison craft kind of stuff.
Yes, but no, because I don't trust myself. I am too clumsy. I am too I'll stick to my safe, non-toxic plants and stuff like that because I just don't trust myself.
The amount of times even I like lightly poisoned myself while taking care of my foxgloves, like all of a sudden, like I'll be taking care of them, like I'll have like all the foxglove juice on my hands, like as like from whatever, and all of a sudden I start getting palpitations. I'm like, ooh, and I'm like breathing. I'm like, why do I have palpitations? And I'm like,
dumbass.
Wear gloves, Scott. Fuck.
I know. I'm too much of an old hag. I forget. I'm like, yeah, just pick up foxgloves and get their juice all over your hands, and who cares?
It's okay. I picked up a cursed object once, so I feel that.
It doesn't matter that it's a digitalis, which is like what they literally use to make heart medication that slows your heart rate.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. That's exactly it slows your heart rate, but if you get it, like you said, you got the juice on your hands, and it kind of like gave you palpitations. So did
palpitations are
or is
just
it like
essentially a regular. Palpitations are essentially just an irregular heartbeat, which means that you're having arrhythmia or like issues with with your regulatory flow. You could get them if you have too high of blood pressure in an excitatory situation, but you can also get them when it's like low blood pressure and it's starting to flutter.
Yep.
Yeah, I think.
Yep.
I know Jay just learned about that because he has one, and his doctor pointed it out, and he's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh boy, let me explain."
I don't know. I have a lot of anxiety, and I drink a lot of caffeine, so.
Next up on the workout routine is Jay. He's gonna get swole like Sophia, and
we are actually next up on the workout routine because we joined a different kind of gym. We're trying.
We joined a gym, as my mother would call it. So my mother used to be a personal trainer, and that's probably also why I have such a trauma response around going to a gym, because my mom used to be a personal trainer 24/7 towards me, and let's see how well that turned out. But it's a racket club. It's got a room with all the equipment, but it's also got a pool for my fat ass, and it's got a hockey. I can't even. It's got everything. It's got tennis courts. I'm so excited.
That's awesome, especially because I figured Jay's gonna lift probably pretty heavy, because you should, Jay. Like, honestly, you don't have to. It's probably okay. Just lift. Like, you have to move weights, but do light. But Jay could lift pretty heavy, and pools are also really good for recovery. Like, when you're recovering from lifting, pools are great. Water is so nice
for literally everybody.
What's that?
Unless you have issues swimming, pools are good for almost everybody. They're like one of those universal things. They're low impact. It allows you to stretch out the lower parts of your spine that you often have issues with, because other parts of your body are kept in tension to support parts of your back. So it'll actually allow you physiotherapy, stuff that you just can't do on dry land. That's why it's one of the most common things that they do in physiotherapy.
Yeah, and even professional athletes.
So we have,
in the United States, they never cover, and you have to fight your insurance agency to get. Because my mother had water therapy after her cancer, and she had to fight for it, and I can't get it, even though my spine is disintegrating. That's why I'm going to give myself my own water therapy.
There you go.
You do have to book a lane in advance, but it's a small
pool, but it's indoor, and that's year round, and that's all I care about.
Right.
That's okay. It's a little bit of a nuisance, but not too bad.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely want to my goal is to become stronger, leaner, healthier. Like, I just want to feel better. I'm really not trying to go in and be like, I want to be 100 and blah pounds, because I really don't give a fuck what I actually weigh. I just want to feel better about my body. It's really what it is.
100%. 100%. That's pretty much where I'm at.
If I may, can I offer a bit of health advice that I've learned recently, which we can see in live time between Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan?
Yeah. Absolutely.
One of the greatest determiners that they've found I've just heard this, I haven't been able to I haven't been researching a lot, but I've been seeing it in practice. One of the greatest determinations of somebody's lifespan is their lung capacity and their ability to breathe, right? Like, Hulk Hogan did work out a lot, right? But he's not constantly working on his lung capacity and his breath. And Ozzy Osbourne's a singer, right? So of course he's having to work on his breath constantly.
We started rewatching old episodes of the Osbournes because Ozzy passed. We were like, just like a late night before kind of bed. Garbage TV kind of thing.
Sharon's a terrible person from everything I've seen. She's just awful to fucking Ozzy. She's a Zionist. She forced Ozzy to support, sign that letter, blockading Gaza. She's a fucking terrible person.
Her hand was up his ass like a puppet master. I always thought that maybe he ain't no saint either, right? Let's be real. But
I sit here and proselytize the guy.
Yeah, but watching those episodes, I'm she's wild. Shit, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, because there was a scene. It was kind of back to fitness. There was a scene that he was going on like a tour, like some kind of tour, and so he had called up his like personal trainer or whatever and was like, yo, I'm trying to get back and do some cardio, lift weights. And he was in his 50s, and he was doing that show. And yeah, I was shocked. I was like, man, he was in shape for, an old ass dude that's done like a lot of drugs and shit.
Did a lot of drugs.
He did do a lot of drugs. A lot of drugs. He was also very handsome when he was young.
Can't hear you,
I didn't know he was so handsome.
I couldn't hear you, Sophia.
Oh, sorry. I was just like...
No, can't hear you. Sounds like you're really far away. There's that Mercury.
Headphone plug.
Yeah, the headphone plug.
That fix it?
A little bit, yeah. Keep talking.
No.
No. Like a very faint sound. It's the Squeak podcast. Squeak.
Ah.
Squeak, squeak.
We do
squeak,
have a couple
squeaker.
people here in the chat. We have Kai, Brian, and Dawn.
Hey, hi everybody. Hi Brian. Hi Kai. Hi Dawn.
Can you hear me
Hi,
better now?
friends.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you better now.
Back to normal. Yep.
Goddamn Discord. What was I saying?
We're talking about Ozzy Osbourne working out and getting in shape for a tour. But we were kind of just talking about health and fitness in general. But yeah, me and Rue, we're on the health train. Trying to, at least, and trying to approach it from a different angle that we've done before, because I also I don't have the best views of my body, and also I'm not very motivated to go to the gym. All the things that I like to do are computer based usually. I like to write, and I like to play games, and I like to a lot of the activities I like are stationary, or I like wood burning, which is a stationary kind of activity. So getting that motivation to go to the gym, I think, is probably going to be the most difficult part for me, mentally. But we're doing it.
Because I hate it when people talk to me about this, but from somebody who went from what you just said to I hate when I miss the gym now because I really like it. It takes a minute, and that could, the mileage may vary, but what happens is that eventually you come to really enjoy the way that you have to push yourself. The level of grit becomes wow, I'm so much stronger than I thought I was in every possible way. Not just your body, because working out is more than just the body. It's a state of mind. You have to put yourself in a headspace where you're you're gonna do this next set, right? You're gonna go for this burnout rep, right? You're gonna do whatever you can to get to what you want, and eventually you're holy shit, I can, now I have no problem doing when my mom gets groceries delivered, I just bring them all in one trip pretty much. I just get it all and just bring it right in. I'm not hurting, I'm not sore, my fingers don't hurt. It's because I've gotten stronger, and once I started seeing that, once I started seeing even the musculature on my body changing, and I don't know, if you get this level of I don't know, for me it's this wonder of what my body is capable of when I take care of it. And you become curious and excited, but it does take time. The first stages of this is oh, I gotta go to the gym, another day, you know what I mean? And you wake up sometimes on gym day and you're oh, here we go. But then eventually it's it's gym day, and she just got to wait to get to that point. But it does come for everybody. It just takes a while.
Oh God, I hope so.
Yeah.
A good piece of advice to go with that is think of it like witch training, because at first you're not training your body, you're training your mind and your spirit and your resilience, right? Resilience is the first and foremost thing you have to train. And once you start building that, you're able to just push through shit you never could before, because resilience is a fucking drug in to itself. And like the capabilities that you gain and all of that stuff, it becomes fucking addicting. Like, I'm telling you, even though I work like labor jobs, I'm barely taking a day off whenever I can. If I got work, I'm taking it, right? And it's not even a matter of finance at this point. It's a matter of staying sharp and getting stronger, and like it just shows off, and everyone's like, "Damn, you lost weight, girl. You looking good. And what have you been doing?" I'm like, "Work."
Work.
It's honestly, it's funny because that's where
it's like what are you guys getting all in shape for? It's like fighting fascism. Like, have you not seen, like,
I just reposted a video on TikTok about that very thing. It's just a bunch of queer people like working out at a queer gym, and I'm like jealous of their queer gym because I was like, we don't have queer gyms in Philly. But
there's like one, I think.
There is one, but it's a I like it, but it's a what you call it gym. You sign up for classes. Like, it's not like a gym you go work out by yourself in. And the trainer there, he's really cool. He's a trans man. He's awesome. Like, I follow him on social media, but his classes are always so full. And he has but he maintains his courses, and he overdid himself a lot, so he had to cut down on some of his course load or his group load. So it's really hard to get classes with him, and yeah, I would have liked to, but it's also not the style of training that I like. I like one-on-one training.
Right,
group training is a little distracting for me.
Because you're comparing yourself to everyone else.
No, well, I don't do that anymore, but I get distracted because neurodiverse brain, because I have, monkey brain. It's like, oh, this thing,
Also
focus on everything but that too. It's actually funny you mentioned that, because as I'm over here, I didn't even know we were going to go here, but I was thumbing through Anatomy of a Witch, A Map to the Magical Body by Laura Tempest Zakroff. It's all about sort of essentially how the witch should treat our physical body, and how the physical body of the witch is also a magical tool, and how you use the physical body in magic. It's interesting. I haven't got to read it yet, but I'm thumbing through it.
I know. I'm also on I try not to teeter too far onto the side of becoming overly obsessive about everything all at once, because it's like, oh, I'm going to the gym and now I'm going to eat super healthy and now I'm going to do this, and I'm like, I need to introduce.
That's a trap that caused you to burn out, and then you don't engage with the thing altogether.
Yeah, because then I start to hyperfixate on all components of it, and it's like, you know what? Sometimes I'm just going to pound down a cheeseburger, knowing that I went to the gym today. I'll skip the fries. You know what I mean? I'll just make some kind of, concession and move on with my damn life. And that's kind of where I'm at now, because you kind of just reach a point in the day where you're like, I got to shove some goddamn calories in my face so I can get on with the next thing.
Eating is so important when you're working out. Eating is important. And another thing that's important is learn, there should be at no point in time when you're working out should you get rid of the things that you enjoy. You should add more satiating foods. So more protein, more fiber. And no one's saying you can't have a cheeseburger. You should have a cheeseburger, because if you deny yourself a cheeseburger, you're going to binge, or binging is my thing. But you're gonna go for the cheeseburger and you're gonna fall completely off the wagon. So give yourself a cheeseburger, but I don't know. But there's also other things you could do too, like air fry your fries without oil, or
we air fry most things. It's
air frying is so much better for you. Yeah, air frying is so much better, and you reduce the oil. Cook with you could also, they suggest doing if you do fry, avocado oil is a little less calories. But, and of course, I don't want to sit here and tell people calories in, calories out is all of it. It is important, because different bodies do different things. Some bodies have a harder time.
It's like a state of mind that you have to be in, and that's I I feel like we're approaching it from a much healthier perspective than we ever have, because it's just about like feeling better first, and then, oh, what did I weigh in at? Oh, okay, that's what it is. Okay, cool. Like, or just noticing like, oh, I can walk up and down the stairs without like being super out of breath. I'm only like a little bit out of breath, So
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things. Yep. As somebody who takes the subway quite frequently, going up and down them subway steps is a lot. And now that I can actually climb those steps up, huffing and puffing, I feel good about myself. You have to celebrate your little wins. It feels nice. And
I was just gonna. Oh, sorry.
No, please. I'm sorry. Good.
No, I was gonna say it really is like I'm hoping that this time is better, because like the environment seems like the place has been there for a very long time, and I think since the 70s at least, and it's the lady who the lady who gave us a whole tour when we signed up was not expecting it. We were just going in to sign up, and she gave us a tour of the whole place, and it was so nice. And she really reminds me of my mom, which is weird. I'm like, but I'm excited. It's more I would like to. I've always had massive body issues. Like when you tell a 12-year-old person you're gonna die because you're fat, that kind of just permanently changes their brain chemistry.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. But it's about getting healthier. It's just I'm 35 and I feel like I have to, if I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it now. And if I just so happen to fit into smaller clothes, that's a benefit. That's just an added benefit. That's not the goal.
So, y'all mind if I do a topic switch / mic grab?
Of course.
I almost died last week.
Ouch.
Stop.
What happened?
Do y'all know what missing 411 is?
Missing 411? No.
Oh, buckle the fuck up. Okay. Missing 411 is a thing I want y'all to look up when you get a chance. It's this guy who's done research on strange disappearances that don't match up with regular disappearances, if someone's having money issues or has mental health issues or is has reasons to disappear and start their lives, or if there's signs of an animal being involved, he drops the cases immediately, right? We're talking impossible shit where people disappear and are never found, or found completely in different areas, or the ones where kids are found and they're oh, a bear took care of me, or a guy in an orange hat took care of me, but they're they can't find this person, and the kid's an impossible distance away, that kind of shit. We ran into that by accident. So my friend Dawn and I went to a dark sky preserve out here in the Greater Toronto area, a place called Torrance Barrens. Yeah, among other things. We went to actually go count UFOs, and we got 82 orbs that we sighted and counted, not counting anything that could look like a plane. And I'm telling y'all, we had crazy shit, flying in formation, a big circle that slowly formed and moved throughout the sky at different times, whole bunch of shit that is just not fucking satellites. But before all that happened, we got to this area, and it's the middle of nowhere. They don't have lights on. Usually, depending on your carrier, you're not going to have cell service out there. There's no running water. They have outhouses. They don't even want you to camp there anymore because we found out, we at first thought they didn't want people to camp there because too many people come, and that can be true. They don't want people to camp there because it's dangerous and people keep going missing, and there's a whole subreddit dedicated to that area specifically. We didn't know that we were walking into a fucking horror movie when we got there, right? And we should have known because the universe likes to make jokes and shit. So when we got there, there's this group of people that pulled in. There was 2 cars that we thought were from other campers. but they just never actually, in retrospect, left the whole time. So they were like kind of abandoned. You know what I mean? And before like even another car pulled in, we found like this tent that was like brand new, but like really weirdly, hastily abandoned. You know what I mean? Next to like a pile of charcoal. And Dawn was like, "This is kind of weird." I'm like, "Yeah, who knows? Maybe they got in shit for it and they got kicked out." Retrospect, that should have been sign number one. Somebody camped there and broke camp in an emergency, fucking scared, and like got out of there at night one time. Two, the abandoned
it's like
vehicles.
the horror movie was happening to you, and you're like screaming at yourself now in the past, like, "You dumb bitch! What are you doing?"
But here's the thing. If you're in a book, you don't necessarily know what the genre you're in is,
right?
And your genre will change depending on your circumstances. So sign 2 was the abandoned cars. Sign 3 was the first group of people that came up and like went to go hiking. They had a camcorder and they were walking in Blair Witch like recording themselves style. And Dawn and I are like, oh no. And they even joked to themselves, "Oh, I love this song," because we were playing Fleetwood Mac. And then one guy's like, "And we were never heard from again." And we're like,
"Oh no!"
And then they came back out like a little bit later, and we're like, "Oh, thank God, we were worried about y'all because you had the camcorder and you kind of like cursed yourself going in there like that, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, we should have known better. It was definitely like the Blair Witch project setup, you know what I mean?" So that was sign number 3. Okay. Then we decide to go for a hike. Okay, let me tell y'all. Do you know what Fae traps are?
Kind of like Fae circle,
it's like
fairy rings.
Not just that. It's like when like everything's off, and it's like they want you to do something in an interaction, so they have an excuse to fuck with you, right? So before we even got to the campground, we tried to stop at a convenience store in Torrance nearby, and it was like literally somebody's house that had been renovated into a store with like different rooms being like different parts of it, but there was nobody there, and they like literally even had like a kitchen, like their fucking kitchen with like their stove and their fridge and shit just open with an arrow pointing in there, and we're like, this is fucking weird. Where is anybody? And we like called for people, but nobody would come down because we were trying to find directions to the campsite because we couldn't find it, right? So we didn't want to buy anything because it felt super fucking cursed, and it's not like you'd want to just like leave money or something, right? So we like kind of left, and then there also was like these weird campers that had like signs inviting us in, and they were apparently unlocked, but there's nobody in them, and we're like, this is weird. And then all that shit starts to happen at the camp, and we start going for a hike. On the hike, we start finding like really auspicious signs. Like I told Scott about this ahead of time earlier because it was like very significant. We found like an oak tree with like its arm bent down like this, forming like a perfect archway. And I was like, what the fuck? Is this broken? And I went up to touch it, and it was completely alive. It was not from a break on a windstorm that had healed. It was a naturally growing arm just going down like this with acorns still growing, touching the ground. I'm like, that's a gateway, because it's like 2 feet from the water's edge, like right where this like turns into wetland, turning into a lake. So it's like a double whammy for if you know anything about like Celtic symbolism behind like Fae portals and shit.
Yeah, like as soon as you said like coming down like an arch, I was like, oh, it sounds like some kind of like portal or like entryway or something like that.
You're fucking correct about that. And I was aware this was in Ireland, right? But just everything was a little too on point. And so we kept walking, and we came across this circle of rocks, right? And on top of, in the middle, there was like this bigger rock, and then there was like a miniature version of the rock circle placed on top, essentially, with like rocks in positions for where all those other rocks would be. And there was one in the middle that was like a shiny, weird, crackly rock in the middle representing the big one, and we're like, yep, that's a trap. Take that fancy rock and you're toasted, right? And we kept walking, and there was like a really shiny fish lure that was like placed at one point. I'm like, grab the fish lure. That's smart, as if you're totally not getting hooked and getting brought back, literally, right? So we're like, nope, I'm too smart.
So at this point, you fully realized that you were in the horror movie. You were like, oh,
you can feel
we're in a horror movie.
You can literally feel it and shit. And Dawn starts hearing somebody calling. Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
I said this is folk horror, by the way.
Yeah, it's like it's an A24 movie plot.
So I had a ton of protection on. I had a necklace that I'm not really going to describe because it's extremely personal. I don't bring it out unless circumstances are serious. I can tell y'all after. But I had that necklace on, and I had like my silver Six of Mars with the pentagram, and then I have like the Suilu rune on top in pewter, and then I have like these pewter Irish knot earrings. You can't necessarily see them. My mom got me them. They're like wonderful. So like
They're
I
pretty.
had all that on. I had my iron key on. Go ahead, Scott.
I said they're pretty. Your
Yeah,
earrings.
I'm decked out to the nines for protection, so I'm totally fine while we're walking. But Dawn starts hearing her name get called, and she's like, "Oh no, someone's calling my name." I'm like, "Fuck, Dawn," and she's like, "Yeah," and it's more than one time, and I can kind of hear it too. And I'm like, "Okay, let's just keep going." And like her family's got history with like the Fae and shit. It's all I can say really without going into her personal stuff. And then as we're walking, her shoe soles, like literally the soles of her shoes where the treads are, split clean off her fucking boots. These are brand new steel-toed work boots. I'm shitting you not. And they split off basically where the rubber meets the steel because they couldn't go past the steel. They tore her fucking soles off her brand new work boots. I don't even know if y'all wear steel-toed work boots.
Yeah. Huh.
I have, yeah.
I don't know if y'all have ever worn steel toe work boots. The toe will split a little bit. I've never in my life, and I've worn through at least 30 plus pairs in my life, ever seen them fully split off like that. That was insane. It was like folk magic type shit. Just like she's walking and slap, 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 and they fall right off. And we're like, what the fuck? And then it just happened to the other boot too. Like 1, 2, like
yeah, that's not
one after another. Like one boot was
normal.
completely fine, and then the sole came off, and the other boot did it like in the exact same fashion. And like, oh, I'm getting chills just telling it, right?
Yeah, that's not
and then
normal
like as we
wear
were
and tear
walking,
type stuff.
and then there was other shit too, right? Like we came across a heron, and I didn't want to disturb it because it was like I was like, oh, you know, this is its land. It lives here. We're the visitors. We don't want to.
This was nighttime, right?
Daytime still. This is daytime still,
okay.
y'all. The fucking sun hadn't even started setting. That's how potent this shit was. This is like fucking 3 to 4 p.m. Okay.
Yikes.
So we see the heron and we're like, okay, that feels like kind of like a guardian of the area. We're just gonna kind of go around over here, like it's a land spirit or whatever it is, you know. And then we keep walking through the bush and we come up a way and we hear something like sneaking up on us, like creeping through the bush, like consistently. So I stop and I pull out my knives and like I have a bunch of weapons on me because I'm ready. And Dawn's like, come on out, we can hear you. And I shit you not, what sounded like a big cat sneaking on us turned out to be a fucking magpie hopping through the ground, just on its 2 feet, hop, 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 and like hopped kind of up to us and turned and kind of like walked parallel up to the tree and like went for like stuff. But we're like, it's a fucking magpie. Like, okay, we're 100% not going to cross paths with the magpie. We're going to like go around this way, right? And like Scott pointed out to me, the magpie is called the devil's bird for a reason, right? So like we avoided that one too, right?
So
and then technically the fish lure came last after all of this. Go ahead.
What is the significance of the magpie?
The magpie, they're folk. It's definitely old folklore. One of the oldest. You know the augury charm. One's for sorrow, two's for one's for sorrow, two's for joy, three's for a girl, four's for a boy.
Okay.
That was originally one of the oldest versions about magpies before it was about crows. The reason for that is because magpies are, when I say highly intelligent, I mean they grade at least 1 or 2 levels above the raven, of which they are a family with. And ravens are highly intelligent.
I was going to get a tattoo of them. I was going to get a huge. I was literally, me and Jay were talking about this to balance out my snake and pentagram on my left arm. I want to get literally a crow, a raven, and a magpie. Like the magpie would be facing forward, and like one would be facing. I literally want to get that as a tattoo on my other arm.
I love the corvids, but the corvids are beautiful. But what was I going to say? Even in like European witchcraft, it was known as like the folk devil's bird, right? It was a familiar to the witch's devil. The witches were also said to have magpies as familiars, right? It is a liminal. It is one of the hedge crossing beasts of old European lore. Just as
And
here
it's two
in
crossing beasts.
you did
Sorry,
come
go ahead.
across another one from what you told me.
And then
Can
we
I
get
tell
a,
this part? 'Cause
and
I'm
then
excited.
we get a third later. I actually forgot to tell you, but please go ahead and tell this part. Yeah.
They also came across a heron, the heron bird. And heron
earlier,
birds,
yeah.
heron birds are also steeped in fairy lore. They're also steeped in. I know. I remember one of my first experiences when I first started working with Nick Nevin. Was coming across this gorgeous blue heron at FDR Park, and I never forgot it because I was like, no way. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, as I'm walking, because I was going there for meditation, and as I'm walking, I'm like thinking of Nick Nevin, and then I come across this gorgeous blue heron, and I've never seen a heron bird ever in my life, let alone at FDR Park here in Philly, and it was gorgeous. It was beautiful, and it was like the way that it walks in the reeds, like the reeds of like on the water, like it's stepping in the water, but it's so intentional and slow, and there's something so liminal about it on between water and land. It's so and like hiding behind the reeds and stuff. It's just so interesting. It was just you could tell why people.
Water was barely rippling.
What'd you say,
We
Sophia?
can't hear you, Sophia.
What was that, Sophia?
It moves through the surface. It moves through the surface of the water without barely causing a ripple because of how slow it goes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I noticed that. They're so like they lift their legs real high and it goes right back down, and they're so like they're like expert hunters of fishies.
You can do this with your hand too if you try it sometime. Get water and let it still, and very slowly dip your hand in, and you'll almost do nothing to the surface. It's the principle that the heron hunts on.
I always like to do that when I'm in water. Is like slowly, like I always like to
try not to break the tension.
Yeah.
It's actually funny because
why are we all witches?
Exactly. Right. I was going to say, Gemma Gary suggests when you are getting sacred waters from a river or a well, that you should be as unaggressive as possible. That you should like slowly dip your vessel like into the water without disturbing it, so that way you're collecting the sort of the vitality or the virtue of the water without disturbing it. Which is something really fascinating. I you know,
just it's like take your 5-gallon Lowe's bucket and like in the sacred river. Here we go.
Never take more than you need of anything.
Yeah. So here's where the story gets crazy. And I know we were just talking about souls splitting off boots and stuff, but it gets fucking weird. So in broad daylight, we start getting this feeling of, hey, turn around now, or you're going to get into fucking trouble. Do not walk past this point. Do not cross go. You will not collect $200. Go the fuck back right now. So we listen. And on that walk back is when her soul split, right? So we get back to the car after the soul split. We know that shit's going on. So we get the idea that we need to go give an offering to the land, right? And we had actually given some tobacco on the way over there, but we wanted to give some bread at the Fae Gate as a specific offering of like, hey, we're going to be respectful with you. Please be kind with us on this. We come in peace, right? So we had like really nice herb and like rosemary and garlic focaccia bread. And we brought it up to the gate and we broke some pieces off, and we like each had a chunk that we split and gave half to them and ate the other half with ourselves. So we like broke bread with them. While we were doing this, I didn't notice it, but Dawn did. There were 3 loons on the water that were right there that turned to observe us and never broke sight and never blinked and just watched us the whole time until we left.
And loons are connected to the realms of the dead and also to fairy. This is crazy. Yep.
So we do all that, and because we came in good faith, and can you still hear me? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
We came in good faith. We played correctly. When it came time for nighttime, we got a 5-minute head start. What do I mean by this? So, Dawn and I were going to go view out in the parking lot because it was safest. We read on Google that on a Wednesday, you can typically be like the only person by yourself in this spot, right? Once we left the woods and it started getting dark, things kind of started shifting. We heard a fucking blood-curdling scream from the woods, like somebody was dying, and nobody else seemed to react to it. And Dawn and I were like, is nobody gonna go check that out?
About the scream?
That's where it starts, okay? Then it starts getting really dark, and we kind of wanted to like it's actually starting to dusk out a little bit. We wanted to see some stars, so we decided there's too many people kind of coming and going right now in the parking lot. Let's just go inside the woods a little bit, down to like the first clearing, which is like maybe not even a minute and a half walk away from the clearing, right? It's quick. We set up there. We put the blanket up, we put up the telescope, we start doing mosquito mitigation by covering ourselves up. We see an orb immediately that like kind of takes off, and it's like, ooh, here. And we're like, yeah, sick, we're gonna see some orbs tonight. And we see another one, right? So we start counting. That's 2. Then the orbs kind of stop. And in retrospect, this becomes a theme later. The orbs stopped showing up when there was danger, and they didn't want us to get caught up looking at them. So the forest goes quiet, and Dawn and I immediately notice this because we're woods kids, right? And I'm like, uh-oh, forest went quiet. And then, I shit you not, that heron we saw before flies over us, taking off. And we both take that as oh yeah, herons don't spook that easily unless like there's something serious over there. Maybe we should like get the fuck out of here. Yeah, let's we immediately picked up the telescope, the blanket, like went back, pulled back out to the campsite, or the like campsite type area where you can't actually camp, moved back to the parking lot by the cars, and we set up by the sign, like right at the edge of the road. And then it gets really, truly dark. And then it starts fucking happening. This one fucks me up just to think about. We were on the edge of the road, and coming from the woods where there's not supposed to be anybody, we hear, help! Like a serious cry for help. And then like the second one, it's like they're choking on like something in their mouth, trying to like cry help again, like they're I don't want to try and repeat the second one. I'm already like getting creeped out by the first one, but like it was like someone begging for their fucking life in the woods, right? And like both of us, I was like, did you hear that? And she's like, yeah, but no, we didn't, and we're not gonna go do anything about it. And nobody else heard it but us. That one really fucked with me. And then there was one that sounded like a child screaming for their life, which would be like they were like trying to push fucking buttons, right? And then like after all of that calmed down, the orbs came back out, and we started like counting them. We got to like 82 orbs, and what was it? 9 shooting stars. It wasn't even like a meteorite night. But something kind of happened at around 77 to 82. They started kind of tapering off, like the orbs kind of like disappeared, and there was like this really weird vibe, right? And we were getting really fucking annoyed because there was too many people showing up, right? Like it's supposed to be maybe you see 10 people over the course of the night, and like you're the only one there by midnight. It was 1:30, and we had seen about 100 people over the course of the night pulling in and leaving, and like there was so many people parking there. They had to like go out onto the fucking shoulder. It was annoying us because we're like getting brightsed by the cars pulling in. People aren't being polite and respecting the preserve. It's like it was like they were kind of being like, hey, you want to come into the woods? Maybe you'll get a bit of a better view, you know? All these people coming through, annoying you. We're just like, no, we're just going to chill and wait until it gets later, and they fuck off. And around like 1:30, we were really expecting them to fuck off, but there was still like 20-ish people there. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm really tired all of a sudden. Let's take a nap until 3 p.m. or 3 a.m., right? Not a right idea to sleep in an area where all this shit's going down, right? Dawn gets really tired too and tries to sleep. The only thing that foils our attempt is the fact that A, the car is too hot for us both to sleep in, because normally you need to crack the windows if you're sleeping in your car for it to ventilate, but there's too many mosquitoes to let in, so the car has to get a little too hot because all we can have open is the sunroof, right? but there's also still enough mosquitoes in the car that I can't fucking sleep because they keep biting me. It's like a fucking smorgasbord, right? So and then later I killed like over 50 mosquitoes in the fucking car. It was a lot, right? So starting to fall asleep, I get into a rage moment at around like a half hour in. I'm like, fuck this, I can't sleep. I'm mad now. I'm getting up. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Fuck this place. And I just get up and Dawn's like, what? I'm like, I'm getting out of here. I'm so mad at this point. I'd like been shedding clothes to try and sleep. I'm in a fucking bra, camo pants without a belt because I had to give Dawn my belt. No fucking socks. Holding my pants up like this. Get into the fucking car seat. Slam it shut, throw all of our stuff in, fucking drive off barefoot with just like my pants around my hips like that, right? Not even 5 minutes away from the campsite. Wide awake again. Dawn is too. We think about it. We're like, wait a minute. We're like certified night people and we drank caffeine before this. Why the fuck were we so tired at 1:30, right? And then the playlist, we have like smart shuffle on so the algorithm can introduce shit constantly. It was like escape from danger type songs. Like it's still like you're not out of the woods yet, like that type of shit. And we're like, we're literally not out of the fucking woods. Fuck. And like the way that we both woke up and could like still kind of feel it coming behind us, we were like, no, nope, this is fucked. And on the drive, I'm like, hey Dawn, pull out your phone. I need you to look up if this is a missing 411 area. And while we're driving back through the woods, she's like, yeah, they have a subreddit for it because so many people go missing. And I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. We were just literally like balls deep in a fucking missing 411 hotspot and almost like this thing was trying to fucking eat us, whatever the fuck came out, right? And like because we played good faith, that they were like, hey, just so you know, we don't necessarily have sovereignty over this area and something kind of comes through, so you might want to fuck off right about now, right? Girl, ugh.
So you don't think the threat was of human, like you don't think there was like some murderer out in the woods kind of thing?
Not even,
like,
not even remotely close for it. Not even a second do I think it was human threat. In fact, it was like weird because we were sitting there in our car waiting for it to get dark and people were like getting weird about us because we didn't know that like people go missing there all the time and people actually get suspicious about other people being murderers because they don't know why so many people go fucking missing.
It sounds like that Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other, you know?
We literally had to bust out the telescope and we're just like two femmes and I'm looking like this, literally. And we had to bust out the telescope just so that people knew that we were waiting for it to get fucking dark. Like, that's the kind of paranoia this area incurs on people, right? And I forgot to tell you, there's also a giant sign when you come in, and on the back there's a huge piece of graffiti. It says, beware of aliens.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, so you think that you had sort of the protection of the Fae, is what you're saying.
I had a lot of protection between all the stuff that I had on me and my other stuff and my knowledge. Turns out after researching this thoroughly afterwards,
I mean, the warning,
like, we're going into more.
You feel like the warnings were coming from the Fae? Is that kind of what you
were Fae among other spirits, because I'm quite friendly. Like, Fae is just, you gotta understand, it's just a terminology that we use to describe a type of spirit that normally isn't necessarily visible to us, that's tied to a location or a region.
Right.
We're using Fae because it works well, and that area did have a very like Celtic Fae tilt because of the oak tree, but it would still be relative to North American spirits.
Right. But I'm curious, like, so what did the other sort of spirit energy, like whatever that was, like, because I know like the Fae aren't all good,
there's
you know what
snow
I mean?
on the ground, right? The thing is, I don't know what was causing the disappearances and stuff. I've never met the thing face to face. I was even talking to other magicians about potentially making a shotgun with shotgun rounds specifically loaded to be able to shoot something like this and hit it and wound it if you need to. We're talking like thorns, fucking iron, like ironwood,
straight out of Supernatural, like, basically.
Like, you literally, yes. Yeah. So you can fucking shoot like a ghost. It's actually called the ghost gun, and the bullets or the shotgun rounds are called ghost shot. Whole thing a lot of magicians have considered making a ghost gun for shooting ghosts when you have to, but it's also like you can only use this in a situation where you can point a gun at something and potentially destroy it type scenario, which is very limited when dealing with ghosties and nasties. So yeah, but also I'd rather like have that than have like something bearing down on me that stinks real bad and rots, and I'm not going to describe it too much because if you know, you know. I'd rather be able to fucking shoot that thing dead in its fucking face.
At the very least, right, carry your standard issue dollar store store water pistol filled with like whatever kind of holy water
That
concoction.
works. That actually does work. Yeah, that works really well. But there are
Get little
certain things that you
holsters.
might need to be able to shoot dead if you come
Yeah, that's
across
true.
them, and they're real. And you never know when you're going to run into one, and it doesn't have to be any type of year, and it doesn't have to be any time of day. So you be fucking careful, because there's stories of people running into all kinds of nasties in the woods of all different stripes and varieties. So come strapped or get clapped, my friends. I had fucking 2 throwing knives the size of my fucking forearm right here, and like a kukri, like that's like also the size of my fucking like forearm, and then a tomahawk. Okay, I was ready.
Gotta be ready.
I was motherfucking ready.
If we don't mind,
So-
because we have talked about the fairy a lot. I am going to read a simple devotional prayer as an offertory prayer, just so that way, when you get their attention, you might want to be polite. So I'm going to read this just for a moment. These are not my words, though I've edited very, very slightly because I like it. So anyway. O Nicknevin, Queen of the Shining Ones, Mother of the Wild Hunt, Grandmother of Witches, she who guards the hedge and draws the veil, O Nicknevin, Queen of Elfame, Grandmother at the crossroads, Mother Hare, Lady of Horns, Lady of Thorns, we honor thee.
Lady of Horns?
Yes.
You want to explain that one to me?
So she's like many goddesses, though it's not talked about a lot. It's not just a horned god. There were horned goddesses as well. It's often not discussed, but it is historical. And yeah, she was often depicted with horns on her head.
She didn't happen to also have solar imagery. Did she? She didn't happen to also have solar imagery around her, did she?
The thing is about Nicknevin is that we don't know much about her. We really don't. So Nicknevin could be a deified person. It could be many deified people. We know that someone named Nicknevin, who was a witch, did exist, or someone that people believed was a witch did exist, and they honored her. So, Nicknevin could be a lot of things, and the reason why this gets so fuzzy is because the intimate line between the realms of fairy and the realms of the dead. The realms of the dead and the realms of fairy are often the same thing, which is why I just call it all the other world, because most likely they're just inhabitants of the other world. And which is why they're, you might classify these particular fairy-like or fairy beings as what they are, because they're sort of something. They're spirit-like beings. You know what I mean? They have they can take some of them can take a physical form, and I think that their natural habitat is the other world. And when it comes to Nicknevin specifically, though, she certainly for some she certainly has a history where it's possible that she comes from, again, history with horned deities. Again, we don't know much. I have seen her with a crown that looks like horns. The way it sits on her brow. And it's made of wood, but yeah, I liked it. I like when we discuss horned female deities or female presenting deities. Just like with the Ellen of Ways, who is a deity that not a lot of people discuss anymore, who was absolutely a horned female deity. Yeah, so I liked it. These are not my words. The only thing that I added was Lady of Thorns, because brambles, I like the idea for for me, any bramble, it strongly represents fairy as well. Bramble bushes are hedges between our world and the world of fairy. Yeah.
This was probably one of our most educational fucking episodes that we've put out in a while, and it was completely unintentional.
Hell yeah!
I wish I had more history for everybody as far as the horned imagery here. I know that the thing is that there's no direct it's a lot of the horned imagery surrounding Nick Nevin specifically is assumed. There's nothing that we have within historical context. It's just about relationship to other horned deities, also discussing her consort, who is the witch's devil. In older poems of Nick Nevin, she's depicted her and her consort, her partner, who many believe to be the horned devil. And I myself also agree with that.
That's
so
yeah,
I don't mind.
It's sort of like what you're saying about McNevin is like, it kind of reminds me of all the lore surrounding Cernunos or Cernuno, pronouncing it. Like we don't have really much information at all. We don't really have a lot of information to go on, and so a lot of what we do have, a lot of what's written down is like UPG that's like been, and then it becomes like shared, and everyone kind of says the same things, and so I think it's kind of one of those. It sounds similar in this case here. It's like it's one of these older figures that we don't know anything about, and so instead of trying to be like, well, if we don't have any historical information about it, so we're not going to honor this deity, it's like, well, no, why don't we just start honoring this deity and start establishing a relationship and then start recording our interactions, like
correct.
We are the new history kind of thing. So.
Absolutely. I also one other thing that I hope some people take away or maybe bring to other people is I want people to also be very willing to admit what I've admitted, that not necessarily that I don't know, but that we don't know. You know what I mean? Like there's no, admit to the fact that it isn't ancient, it isn't ancient. There are parts of that prayer there are parts that are Mother of the Wild Hunt, Queen of the Shining Ones, draws the guards the hedge and draws the veil. All that stuff is ancient. But when it comes to and the Mother Hare, that also too is ancient. But Lady of Horns, that part is based on cultural context from around the area of Scotland specifically, and other Gaelic speaking countries in as far as in relationship to. So because Ellen of the Ways, if I'm not mistaken, is Welsh, but and obviously Welsh, Scottish, Irish, even the Anglo-Saxon English they're not all the same people, but not even the Manx people on the Isle of Man.
There's similarities.
They're not all the same, but they did have some crossover, yeah. So yeah. So that's your magic doesn't have to be ancient to be powerful.
Right. It's true. It's very, very
true.
No,
it does not. Sorry I went quiet. I just realized I have to do a little bit of work stuff. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't send in my timesheet, so I'm just like punching that in right now.
Gotta send in the timesheet. No, it's all good, because we've been going for almost an hour anyway. We're just 2 minutes under an hour. So I just wanted to check in on the chat over here. So we had, earlier we had Kai, Brian, and Dawn, and then we also had Sage pop in for a little bit. Andy.
Hi, Dawn.
Is here,
she was the one who is there for the story.
Anthea. Yes, Anthea's in the chat. And Katie popped in. What's up?
Hey.
Yeah, Dawn wants to talk to you, Scott, more about this hedge crossing McNevin stuff. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Dawn's in the Discord, so start chatting, start tagging.
Yeah, I'll hop in.
She's under there as Fairy.
Yeah. So this was really cool. Nice little impromptu conversation and discussion of the Fae. Before I ask for anyone's closing statements, I guess I'll just say, hey, we have a Ko-fi, and you should check that out. Hail Satan tier is the coolest one, $6.66 a month, and you can hail whatever you like. We do have a subscriber to that tier, and that is Tink. And Tink, wants us to remember Free Palestine.
Free Palestine. And the
Feed
Palestine, motherfuckers, the river to the sea. I will never stop being vocal about that. Stop starving them. Support them more. If this is more of a political podcast, I'd be harping on fucking Palestine 24/7.
So, I usually put that toward the end, but I would like to. Any closing statements from anyone here? Closing sentiments we want to.
I feel like I already gave my closing sentiment just there.
Yeah, the prayer really felt. Yeah, that prayer really felt.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah. Be kind to one another. It's rough out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, it is, and it's everywhere. It isn't just here. I don't want to drag on anymore, but I've been seeing the rise in fascism. It's global. This was I hate to sound like a tinfoil hat, but this was a takeover.
Yeah. I didn't expect the New World Order to be fascism. I don't know
why I didn't. I think it's because we read too much fantasy.
We were hoping for better, but we got to work through this shit first.
We got fucking fascism. Now it's just now it's just nationalistic bullshit. But seriously, be good to one another. Think for yourselves. Ask questions. Question everyone, including us.
Yes, always fact check us.
And especially question yourself. Who are you, and what are you doing here, and what are you doing with your time?
Read banned books. That's my closing statement.
Yeah.
Read banned
books. As far as our earlier part of our conversation, don't let the fascists be stronger than you. Get so strong that when you punch them in the face, they fucking feel it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, everyone. We are going to head out of here, and we will see you all in the next one.
Bye. Love you all.